Welcome to Inside Stylists. I'm EmmaMT, and today we're diving into a topic that's been coming up a lot lately: press launches. Last week I received an email from an Interior Stylist member of Inside Stylists, and she was asking about how the press launches work, how to get invited to more press launches, just how to stay in the loop. So today I'm going to be sharing exactly what I told her and a few more insider tips along the way. So I'll just read out what she said. I've got it here on the screen. Let's read out her message. So she said, "I'm a member of your lovely Interior Stylist page, and I'm coming back to work this year after having my children. I'd love to get back to some press events and press days and see what's new. What's the best way to go about getting invited to some of the press days?" So if you're new to the interior styling world, or just want to make sure that you're staying ahead and getting on PR email lists, being invited to press launch is really key. There's a step-by-step guide you can see. I've put it on Inside Stylist, but let me share what I would suggest you do first. So the first thing you need to do is get on mailing lists. And this really isn't that tricky. It's pretty straightforward. You can find people. I know sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming. You might want to be on lists of loads and loads of different people. I'll make it really easy. So the first thing to do is to go onto the website. See if you can find a brand. So for example, let's pull someone out of the thin air. Let's say H&M. So H&M Home, absolutely love H&M Home. Their homewares are just really modern. They're not massively expensive. They move the products on a lot. It's always really, they've got a really lovely vibe. So if I want to make sure I'm kept in the loop of what they are doing, the first thing I do is go to their website. When you scroll down to the bottom where the contact me pages or contact us pages, you will find all sorts of details. There'll be customer service, all sorts of different places, but somewhere in there will be press contacts. So if you just find that person, usually there'll be for press inquiries, email this person. And that's really where I would start. I would also think about making phone calls. Not many people ignore phone calls. I'm sure I've said this 100 times. Lots of people kind of don't quite get back to their emails, or they mean to come back to their emails. So you can always send an email, but it's also a really good idea to phone people and just ask them if they can put you on their mailing list. The other way to find the correct person is to just Google. Just say, who does the PR for H&M Home in the UK as well, because you want to make sure you're finding people in the UK if you're a UK stylist, or obviously if you're in another country you find one for the other countries. But yeah, sometimes it's as simple as doing a quick Google search and finding who they are. Sometimes you will find a LinkedIn post pops up, and that is my third tip. Look at LinkedIn. I don't know how much you know about LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is really great for, people think of it as like a CV, it's an online CV, but it is a kind of social media place. You can share posts. It's not just braggy. It is really good, and it's really especially good for interior stylists. There's a lot of PRs on there. There's lots of brands. Brands will have their kind of work pages, but then obviously the people who work there will have their personal pages, and that's how you can find them. If you put in the brand, so again, we're saying H&M, if you just say H&M and then PR or press officer, you will quite often come up with someone who is working in that field, who has filled out their profile, and those keywords will help you find the right person. So it's really good. And if you can't find the specific press officer, or there's no PR contact, find someone else within that company and just drop them a line and say, "Hi, I'm really sorry to bother you. I don't think you're the right person. If you're not, could you just let me know who the right person is?" And then you've got another name, and then you can say, "So-and-so gave me your details so I can get in touch with you." But the thing to remember is most people are quite happy to help. The fourth way I would find the right PR is good old social media. Everyone's on social media now. You can DM the brand directly, ask who does their PR. I mean, I've done this quite a lot. When I can't get through any other way, I have resorted to social media, and I do tend to use it as the last resort because it's probably the slowest way of finding the right person. You will normally find if they're kind of shit hot and on top of things, they'll get back to you. By the end of the day, maybe within 24 hours. If they're really on it, then you might find they get back to you straight away. But the PRs are really interested in being found. They want to make new contacts, so it's a really good way to find them. But The other thing is to think about whether, or have a little search and see if they have their own PR account. So quite often, so for example, M&S Home has their own social media for just promoting the new ranges, the new colours, the new designs, really highlighting new pieces, but they also have an M&S PR. So do put in PR when you're searching for brands on social media, because you might find they have their own account, and then obviously you've got to go straight through and you'll find exactly the right person to contact. Another place, there's so many ways to find PRs. Another place is Pressloft. So Pressloft is a really fantastic platform for interior stylists and writers and journalists, where you can download high-res images directly from PRs for your features. Now, you do have to sign up for it. You do have to be official. You have to have a proper entity to be sharing those images, because they're all copyrighted, so you can only use them if you're doing a feature on a magazine or a newspaper, or maybe you've got a blog. You just have to apply and get an account. It's quite straightforward to get an account. It's not, they make it quite easy. I know a lot of bloggers who have accounts with Pressloft, and because those PRs are putting their high-res images onto Pressloft, when you download an image, there's a box where it says contact the PR, and you can just direct message them right there and then you're speaking directly to them. So that's another good way of getting in touch with them. Also, it's a really easy way of downloading images for features. So definitely keep that in mind. Okay, so you've got the name. You know who it is you're speaking to. You know who you need to contact. What you need to do now is make contact. And once you've found the right person, you need to reach out. And don't overthink this. I think a lot of people get very nervous when it comes to this, but you really want to remember that PRs and brands want to hear from you. You just have to let them know who you are, what you're working on, why they should kind of keep you in the loop, and just ask them if you can be added to their mailing list. A really simple email would be something like, hi, oh, hang on, we know their name. So let's say, hi, Robin, I'm EmmaMT. I'm an interior stylist working on a feature for my blog or for a Homes and Gardens magazine, or I'm doing a shoot for whoever it is. Please could you add me to your press mailing list? Here's a link to my portfolio or my profile on Inside Stylists or my blog. Looking forward to connecting. Thanks very much, EmmaMT. Keep it really simple and professional and to the point. And you might want to add in there something you've seen. Maybe you've seen something recently in social media, and you can jot down, oh, I really love the new collection with the linens. Sometimes it's nice to add a little personal touch and not make it feel like you're just doing a blanket email and sending it around to absolutely everyone. Sometimes it's nice to be a little bit more personal and make it feel like you are actually talking to them because you want to be connected with them, not just everybody. The thing to remember is that PRs and brands want to be in touch with you. We are very, very friendly in the interiors world, so don't feel intimidated by doing this. It's a really important first step to get that connection in the first place. Once you're on mailing lists, you will be sent press releases, and you'll be kept in the loop of every new product, every new launch, every event, what is going on everywhere, so that you know what you can feature and what you can share, and basically do marketing for them, which is what PR is all about. So you've made contact, you want to stay in touch. The best way to do that is to just keep the relationship going with social media. It's probably the easiest way. Just think about commenting on all their posts, whether that's their personal posts, so the individual PR, they'll probably have their own account. Let's face it, most people have their own personal accounts. They'll have the brand account, they might have the PR account. Follow all of the accounts they have and comment and like on all of them as much as you possibly can. I'm not telling you to go and sit on social media for hours on end. No one has time for that. We're too busy working, aren't we? But this is a really good way to build relationships. Just keep chatting to them. You could literally message them. If you've dropped them an email and they've replied and said, yeah, no problem, we'll add you to the mailing list. You can then comment on their post, but then DM them personally and say, thanks so much for adding me. I love this latest rocking chair or whatever it is. I don't know where rocking chairs come from. Another thing I should probably mention, and I think this upsets so many very, very well-established stylists, is don't worry if you fall off a press list. It happens all the time, and it is not personal. it is a very, very quick and easy thing to happen, because basically a PR company, so say there was an agency looking after John Lewis. This is exactly what had happened actually. John Lewis had a really successful PR agency looking after all of their interiors, and they would run all the launches, they would do all the events, they send all the press releases out, they did everything for their team. And I was on their list along with many other magazine stylists, a lot of freelance stylists. And then John Lewis took all their PR in-house. So what happened was, in-house PR had their list and the external agency who were looking after them had their list. And there were two completely different lists. Now, if you're a PR agency, your list is your business. It's your whole world. You don't give that to John Lewis and say, here, take all our contacts. They keep them close to their chest for their next client, which is going to be another interiors brand, where they want to be able to send press releases out to all of us so we know what they're doing. So when the John Lewis in-house team has their list and it's not been updated for a long time because they haven't needed to, because the external agency has been looking after them, they might not have me on their list. I might have never spoken to someone internal, so there's no way they would have me on their list. So when press launches go out and I'm watching social media, seeing everybody at a John Lewis press launch, and I'm like, oh my God, they don't like me anymore. They've literally left me out. There's no love here anymore. And a lot of people feel quite offended by that. Now, if I was the in-house press officer, I would be scouring social media and I would go through every magazine, every interiors magazine, and I would hunt down everybody. I would be looking on Inside Stylist profiles to make sure I've got all the assistants and all the stylists, make sure I've got all of their details. I might do right now, if I was doing it, I would set up a mini chat and I would direct message people and say, I just want to check you're still on our mailing list because we've changed. If not, drop me a line, just comment the word PR and we'll send you a link so you get added to our mailing list. I would make it all automated, but I would make sure that I reached out. But that's not what happens. That takes a long time. There are hundreds of interior stylists out there. And that's how people fall off lists. We just fall off. So as a freelancer, it's much harder to stay on top of lists, and it is almost part of it is definitely part of your job. It's not a full-time job, but it is part of your job to make sure you are staying on top of those lists. So once you're on those lists, you will be getting all the emails. You'll probably wish you hadn't started because you'll get inundated and get hundreds every day for individual items or completely new ranges that have launched. And you'll also get invited to the press launches. So make sure you're being really proactive. So there you have it. So with these tips, you'll be staying ahead in no time at all. You'll be building relationships with all the PRs, and you will be, as long as you stay proactive and keep those relationships going, you will be on all the lists. So the only thing I need to say now is that if you're an assistant, do remember that you are the assistants now, but you'll be the big stars of tomorrow. I can't tell you how many assistants I've had. When I first went freelance, my assistants are now running whole departments, running whole magazines. So the PRs know this. They like to keep you updated because they don't know where you're going. They don't know if you're suddenly going to be a social media, you'll have an account that's got 400,000 followers or something. They don't know. They don't care. They just want to make sure you know. So that's it for today. I hope that was useful. If you have a question for a Freestyling Friday, then do drop me a line. You can find me on InsideStylist.com, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. But until next time, happy styling.